Today, we will be going over the Perseus Arm mass extinction of galactic year 16543. The Clin-2 speaker said to the class. She waves a tentacle over the projection matrix, and a hollow of the galaxy appears. During this time, there were 5 major powers at play in this sector. The hollow highlights a section of the galactic arm that is 500 by 500 light-years across. After the breakup of the United Coalition of Independent Planets 3,000 galactic years prior, the weakened Federation of Zent was just beginning to recover from the blockade set in place by the combined forces of the Faf Empire and Glitka Alliance. The Clin-2 speaker waves at the secondary display, showing the general anatomy of the Zent. As you can see, the Zent displays a standard anatomy seen in galactic species. A hardened exoskeleton, 4 optical organs above masticating mandibles for consumption of nutrients, 3 sets of legs for mobility, and 2 sets of arms for manipulating their environment. Generally an aggressive species since they joined the larger community of the galaxy in the year 11235. They waged many campaigns to expand into larger swaths of the galaxy. The speaker exhales slightly with a slight dip of her body. Due to this aggressive nature, no sooner did they get their world stabilized than they began another conquest for territory. Due to the blockades, they expanded further from the galactic center and towards the less explored outer rim of the galaxy. She waved to the projection matrix, and a series of lines spread out from Zent control space. Many systems were colonized during this time, many uninhabited, yet a few were homes to pre-galactic intelligent races. All were consumed. The hollow pauses as it focuses on an orange star. This star is known as Epsilon Indi to the locals. Its system consists of 1 brown dwarf at around 1 standard unit from its star, as well as 3 planetoids in closer proximity to the local star. When approaching the system, the Zent fleet detected small ships in the system. Following their procedures, recon drones were deployed, and data was acquired on the new species. The display showing the Zent anatomy is replaced with a new creature. This is a human, a very strange creature indeed. They stand upright on only 1 set of legs, only 1 set of manipulative arms. Their sensory organs are oddly set above the body on a stalk-like appendage called a neck and head, 2 optical organs set above a hinged mandible for consuming nutrients, and a strange clump of fibers on the top of their head. And the body is exposed skin with no protective integument. The first impression the Zent got from these scans is that the humans were a prey species, due to the lack of claws or large teeth. The technology they possessed was also extremely basic, and composed only of mining equipment with no armaments at all. The hollow displayed a war map of the Zent entering the system, and destroying the human vessels without any resistance. The humans were destroyed, and the system was claimed by the Zent. The commander of the fleet sent probes to all neighboring systems, and found systems humans were located at and decided to probe their territory to see if the quick victory was a fluke, or if this species was generally that weak. Humans were detected in 8 more systems. Deciding to set up a base of operations in Epsilon Indi, a small fleet of 5 ships was sent to the closest star, Laciel 8760. Taking only 2 standard years to travel that distance, they found a small fleet of human ships in waiting. They attempted to fight, but their weapons were so completely useless against the Zent shielding, and were quickly destroyed. The speaker looked out into the auditorium with her 12 jet blue eyes and paused for a moment. After collecting herself, she continued. The humans really stood no chance. We have since determined that they were a young species. When the United Coalition of Independent Planets broke up after the last galactic war, humans were still yet to develop any form of technology. They were primitive and underarmed to face the fleet of Zent warships. After leveling the human fleet at Laciel 8760, the Zent continued onto a system called EZ Aquari, a triple-star system 3 galactic years further. When they arrived, another fleet of human ships were there. During transit into the system, a rogue flare from one of the stars knocked out the propulsion drives on the Zent repair vessel. The humans were completely destroyed. The vessel was left derelict, and the Zent fleet returned to Epsilon Indi for repairs. The Holo focuses on a new system, another triple system of 2 binary stars and a third in orbit around them. However, something interesting happened here in the Proxima Centauri system. When the fleet arrived, all communications ceased. The commander in Epsilon Indi assumed another event may have knocked out communication, so they sent a recon fleet into the system, but they also disappeared without a trace. The Clint 2 blinked for the first time since looking out into the crowd. The commander grew suspicious that the Glinter Alliance may have intercepted his ships, so he sent his entire fleet into the offending system, expecting to see a blockade. However, all he found was a single human ship. This ship broadcasted a vid signal. The speaker waved her tentacle up at the display, and a vid showing a human with his arms clasped behind his back on one side, and the Zent commander looming on the wall of the command bridge on his ship. The human begins speaking, but there is no audio. Instead, the chittering of the galactic common is played in time with his speech. This is Admiral Oak of the Earth Defense Force. I stand here today to discuss the end of hostilities between your people and mine and discuss terms of surrender. The Admiral's facial expression is neutral and stiff. I'm Commander Klumka of the Federation of Zent. I do not wish to waste my breath speaking to you such primitives. You will turn your vessel around and... The human admiral makes a guttural choking noise, as if to clear his airways into his hand, cutting off the commander. I apologize, Commander. I believe I didn't make myself clear. The terms of surrender are for you. If your fleet doesn't cease hostilities, we will retaliate without prejudice, and honestly, some of our leaders back home aren't too fond of that idea. The commander stares into his monitor with all 4 eyes widened, and mandibles slightly opened. How dare you talk as if you are able to do anything to stop us, human? The Admiral's mouth curls up on one side as he begins to speak. I'll take that as a no. I'll let you know a bit of a secret, Commander. Some of the hippy-dippy leaders back home aren't fond of this, but I sure as fuck am. The Admiral spreads his mouth, baring his teeth, while making a repetitive huffing noise before the communication ceases. The Clint 2 raises her body slightly and explains to the crowd. What the human did with their mouth is called a smile. It generally means that they are happy, and the odd vocalization is called laughter and is a sign of amusement. She waves at the projector, and the battle map shows 145 Zent vessels and 1 human ship in system. Then, multiple human ships appear out of nowhere. 10, 100, 1,000... Then finally, 115,235 human ships completely fill the battle space surrounding the Zent fleet. Within moments, the Zent vessels are destroyed. As it turns out, the humans have an unusual biology. They are carbon-based and breathe oxygen. Their internal temperatures are extremely hot and they move and think in overdrive. A single Earth year is 1/46th that of a standard galactic year, and their lifespans are only around 2 standard years. The speaker zooms the holo back out, showing all the systems the Zent took from the humans. It took the Zent 21 galactic years to take these systems. That was 966 human years, and over 11 human lifetimes of development for them. When the Zent left their ship in EZ Aquari, the humans captured it and studied it for generations. They developed more advanced technology based on what they found. The auditorium was silent as the speaker changed the holo to footage of the Zent capital world, Zia Prime. Human ships bombarded the surface, leaving nothing but scorched earth behind, as debris from Zent space colonies floated near the camera. The humans sterilized the sector of all traces of the Zent within a half-standard year. The holo flicks between hundreds of planets, completely void of life. The holo then shows the galactic capital deep in the inner galaxy. A single human ship jumps in system and 3 pods are released. They streak to the capital city and soft land on the street. The only remaining Zent left alive was the ambassador on Alteris, deep in the seat of government. The speaker explains, as the pods open, and 3 humans in suits streak out at incredible speed. They move faster than anyone can believe, and they leap from rooftop to rooftop. They climb to the top of the Zent embassy and disappear from view. Moments later, they jump from the top of the embassy and return to the pods with the Zent ambassador's corpse and take off back to the ship. The ship broadcasts a vid before jumping out of system. On the projection, the human admiral appears and is noticeably aged with heavy wrinkles, and the fibers on his head have turned white. To the greater galactic community, the Zent are no more. They attacked us without recourse and were dealt with accordingly. Any other species willing to talk about positive relations is welcome to approach us. We will take no hostile actions unless provoked. The Zent found out what happens if you mess with us. I wouldn't recommend you fuck around in the future.